Hello and welcome to Two Chicks Tell All. It's your girl Tay Tay here.
And CC,
So, we're just flying by the whim.
we are flying.
Yeah, so
a little,
we,
yeah.
we literally came up with this whole
To-
idea at noon today.
Yeah, it was a little on the fly because it's just been a crazy week.
Oh, it has.
Crazy week.
I can totally agree with that.
Yeah, into the summer finally. Good now. Weather's kind of leveling out.
It feels really good outside.
Getting some good sunshine down here finally at the coast and able to hopefully get us in a good beach day tomorrow.
Yeah, and I have the weekend off because
Yay.
I'm going to see David Cook tomorrow. If anybody knows who that is, put a 1 in the chat if anyone's here, because he won American Idol one year, and your girl got VIP tickets, so she's very excited.
She's smitten.
I'm very excited, so I just knew that I would be exhausted probably all weekend, so I just took the whole weekend off.
Yeah, then she gets to do a beach day tomorrow.
Yeah, I get to do a beach day. I'm probably going to lay out by the pool Sunday, get some sun that I've been finally waiting for because I haven't really been able to get any sun.
I've been able to get only one day in, which if I think about last year, I'm pretty sure there was at least a handful of good days.
You went a lot last year.
I went a lot last year before because it was warmer too before. Yeah, it's just been incredibly cool.
Well,
here.
She has a pass to all of the state parks. So
right. I'm ready.
How the beaches work down here is you have to pay to park at a lot of them.
But yeah.
And if you have that pass, it's kind of worth it if you want to go to the beach a lot.
Right.
So, she's able to go to the beach whenever she feels like it.
Well, now the summer, you do have to be careful because one of the state parks will get full and they will shut that bad boy down. And then it's kind of like you either have to go early or later in the afternoon. And there's public parking places down here, but not a lot. And those you probably, again, really have to get early. And a lot of those back up to where some other condos and stuff are. But yeah, it's kind of in the summertime. It's a little hairy.
Yes,
a little hairy.
It definitely is. So I wanted to give a shout out real quick to one of my favorite YouTube creators and a friend of mine. Her name is The Perfect Storm, or Perfect Storm, I believe is what her name is. But she made some really nice banners for us, and she made some really nice profile pics for us. So I really appreciate all the hard work that she put into creating those nice things for us to make our profile look really good.
Yeah.
So thank you, Perfect Storm. We definitely appreciate you. If you're listening, I just want to let you know, or if you're listening on the replay even, we really do appreciate you doing that for us. So yeah, our topic of conversation, it kind of just is going from one thing to another.
It really is on the extreme.
So
I semi wasn't prepared as usual. Y'all know me. I've been trying to get better, but so we'll get into. Teddy's going to start off, and then I'll jump in. But yeah, my week's just been a little rattled, so I'll get into a little more of that after.
So we kind of had this idea last week that we were just gonna pick a celebrity and talk about them and do a little mini biography and just kind of explain why we like this person and stuff like that. So,
and I still think for fun after Tay goes through her update or her talk about this, is we can definitely do the name throwing them out. Would you do them? Just a little quick, would you do them?
That would be fun. So, I kind of had that idea, and then Cece wanted to talk about the economy and go on a rant about the economy. So we decided that we were just going to combine the two topics for tonight. I know that they're both completely unrelated,
right?
But hey,
we are what we are.
We are who we are.
Yeah,
that's for sure. I think that's a song that Kesha sang back in the day or something. Right. But anyway, that's beside the point. So this is kind of just an all over the place kind of podcast. Usually we're a little bit more organized with our topics, but this kind of happened and we're good. It's okay to be a little bit unorganized.
Yes.
Michael S is here. So, hey, Michael S, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, you'll probably think this one's interesting because I know that you were on my Coffee Talk Live the other night whenever I was showing everybody what was in my refrigerator.
Nice.
And we were talking about that. So, So I think you'll like this one. Hi, Munching and Chatting. Thank you for stopping by. I'll have to go watch your live that you posted earlier because I didn't get to catch it. Was kind of busy leading up to doing this podcast. Worked today and then had to run some errands, so I'll have to check that out later. So anyway, the celebrity that I chose, which just recently, like, I mean, I've kind of always had like a liking for this person. But like I feel like recently it's just really been like triggered. So I was at work the other day and I saw a magazine. So Time magazine, yes, definitely, thank goodness it's Friday. So I saw a Time magazine issue that did a whole magazine on Frank Sinatra. Which, yes, I understand that I'm 32 years old and people question, why I even know who the heck that is. But, I'm an old soul. It's just how it is. Like, I was raised on all the old music, and, that's just how I am. Candy, no, my co-host is here, so we're gonna get to that. Candy said, "Is you're live by yourself tonight?" No, it's just,
I'm here.
We're both here. I'm just doing my little segment first. So I have a little bit of an obsession with Frank Sinatra, which is actually funny because it started a while back, and I'll get into that story in a minute. But anyway, so I saw this magazine, this Time magazine issue that was all about Frank Sinatra. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. So I kept telling everybody at work, and it was actually kind of funny. Everybody kind of thought it was hilarious. I kept telling everybody that Frank Sinatra is like my dream man in another life. Because obviously, he's been passed on for a long time. But, in an alternate reality, he is like my dream man. We'll just say that. I don't know what it is, but I just really like a classy man. I don't know what it is. Just really like me a classy man. So anyway, now back to where my Frank Sinatra kind of obsession started. So I don't know if anybody knows what this is, but they have something called Legends here, where it's like they bring impersonators, and they usually have like 6 per show, and they have like different seasons of the year with like different entertainers. Well, one time they had a Frank Sinatra impersonator, and this guy like killed it, which I'm going to say what his name is because he is in like the public, Brian Dupree, he's probably one of like the best Frank Sinatra like impersonators that I've ever seen. Like he has like the personality, he has like the voice down. Like you're going to have to go check him out on YouTube. Like he's very good. So that's what kind of started like that obsession with that, because I saw Frank Sinatra at Legends and I'm like, oh, I said that is like, one classy man right there, So I kind of, got into Frank Sinatra. So that's how that all started, which is actually funny because after the show, I got a picture with him and stuff like that, and he hugged me, and it was like real sweet and stuff like that.
He was smiling really big.
I was. Yeah, you saw the picture. Yeah. I was smiling really big. But yeah, this guy, he's very good. I'm actually waiting for him to come back to Myrtle. Like I just keep checking to see if he's coming back anytime soon because I'm kind of, interested. Because this was like a couple of years ago, like way before like COVID happened and stuff like that, obviously. But anyway, that's beside the point. So I just kind of wanted to get into a little bit of like a Frank Sinatra like biography. But I noticed that there's a lot going on in the chat. So let me see. So Candy says that her mom listened to Sinatra and Dean, which, yeah, they were actually both in the Rat Pack. So that would explain that one. Oh yeah, Candy, I love Elvis too. We'll just say that. Like, I'm definitely like an Elvis fan too.
My mother actually saw him in concert, Elvis.
We took my grandma, I think, is probably like one of the biggest like Elvis fans that I've ever met. And like every year I get her something that is like Elvis related. So she has like a bunch of Elvis memorabilia, and that's kind of like my thing to her. Well, we took her to Legends. This was actually the same time that I saw Frank Sinatra. We took her to Legends, and they had an Elvis impersonator. And my grandma was fangirling a little bit, which I thought that was kind of funny. And like the Elvis impersonator, like grabbed her hand and started singing to her.
Oh, nice.
And like we have pictures, and like my grandma was just like grinning from ear to ear. So it was just it's kind of neat to see that like these people are kept alive like this way. Like the memories and stuff are kept alive, because these musicians back then, they had a big like influence on people, and like you never really knew it. So like to keep these memories alive, like that's kind of like a fun thing to see. Let's see. And everybody's just saying hi to each other. Michael says Elvis is my favorite. My family is big fans. Michael's middle name is Elvis. That's kind of neat.
Nice.
Yeah, I never would have thought of that. So I'm going to give a little bit of a biography and some trivia about Frank Sinatra, which I didn't even realize how much of a bad mamma jamma he was, because he really was. Like, if you look into like this man's history, he was a little bad mamma jamma. We'll just say that. And, it's just kind of funny. So we'll get into that. So Frank Sinatra was born in Hoboken, New Jersey, to Italian immigrant Natalia Della from northern Italy and Saviero Antonio Martina Sinatra.
Wow.
Who was a Sicilian boxer. And he was also a fireman and a bar owner.
Oh, nice.
So growing up on the gritty streets of Hoboken made Sinatra determined to work hard to get ahead. Which actually, as I was reading this, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. And I've seen like a couple different like Frank Sinatra documentaries, but there was definitely some stuff in here that I found that was like new information to me. So I thought that was really interesting. So he was a hard worker. So starting out as a saloon singer in Musty Little Dives, he created his own PA system. He eventually got work as a band singer, first time with the Hoboken Four, then with Harry James and Tommy Dorsey, which I am not sure who they are. Put a 1 in the chat if anybody knows who Harry James and Tommy Dorsey is, because I have no idea.
That Dorsey name sounds familiar. I wonder if he was part of another band too.
He may have been. So with the help of George Evans, who was Sinatra's genius press agent, his image was shaped into that of a street thug and punk who was saved by his first wife, Nancy Barbados Sinatra. In 1942, he started his solo career, instantly finding fame as the king of the bobby sockers, the young women and girls who were his fans. I can see that. And becoming the most popular singer of the era among teenage music fans. About this time, his film career was also starting in earnest. And after appearances in a few small films, he struck box office gold with a lead role in Anchors Away in 1945 with Gene Kelly, who was a Best Picture nominee at the 1946 Academy Awards.
Oh, wow.
Which everybody, I think, knows who Gene Kelly is, like Singing in the Rain, you know, like that type of thing. So Sinatra was awarded a special Oscar for his part in a short film that spoke out against intolerance, The House I Live In. I think I'm going to have to see if that's on YouTube, because that sounds kind of interesting. His career on a high, Sinatra went from strength to strength on record, stage and screen, peaking in 1949, once again with Gene Kelly in the MGM musical On the Town and Take Me Out to the Ball Game. A controversial public affair. See, this is where I get with the bad mamma jamma stuff.
Right.
So we're going to get into that here. A controversial public affair with screen siren Ava Gardner broke up his marriage to Nancy Barbados Sinatra and did his career little good, and his record sales dwindled. Let's see. Oh, hey, one of my coworkers just popped in. Hey, Glenda, I'm glad to see you're here.
So, wow. damn having his marriage shaken up.
Yeah, I know, right? I guess that's what they said by Bad Mamma Jamma. That's what I mean.
Right.
So he continued to act, although in lesser-known films, such as Meet Danny Wilson in 1952. Hey, Chris. Chris just stopped in, too. And a vocal cord hemorrhage, but all but ended his career. So a vocal cord hemorrhage almost ended his career, for those that wanted to know. He fought back, though, finally securing a role he desperately wanted, Maggio in From Here to Eternity in 1953.
I think I've heard of that movie.
I've heard of that one, definitely. Yeah. He won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor and followed this with a scintillating performance as a cold-blooded assassin hired to kill the U.S. president in Suddenly. You know, I had forgotten that I had read that he was in like a lot of politically driven type of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that must have been one of the politically driven things that, he was in. So he won I read that about him winning an Oscar. Arguably a career best performance, garnering him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, was his role as a pathetic heroin addict in the powerful drama The Man with the Golden Arm.
Oh, yeah, definitely heard of that.
Okay, I don't think I've ever heard of that one, but I need to go watch these. So known as One Take Charlie for his approach to acting that strove for spontaneity and energy rather than perfection, Sinatra was an instinctive actor who was best at playing parts that mirrored his own personality. So that's kind of interesting in my opinion. He continued to give strong and memorable performances in such films such as Guys and Dolls in 1955, The Joker is Wild in 1957, and Some Came Running in 1958. In the late 1950s and 1960s, Sinatra became somewhat prolific as a producer, turning out such films as A Hole in the Head in 1959, Sergeants 3 in 1962, and the very successful Robin and the Seven Hoods in 1964. Lighter roles alongside Rat Pack buddies Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. were lucrative, especially the famed Ocean's 11, which I didn't actually know that that's like that movie was like a remake.
Yeah.
So Frank Sinatra was in the original Ocean's 11. So on the other hand, he alternated such projects with much more serious offerings, such as The Manchurian Candidate, which I think that's a remake, or that's the original that has been remade too. Regarded by many critics as Sinatra's finest picture, which I think I need to go see that one. He made his directorial debut with the World War II picture, None But the Brave, which was the first Japanese-American co-production. The same year, Von Ryan's Express in 1965 was a box office sensation. In 1967, Sinatra returned to familiar territory in Sidney J. Fury's The Naked Runner in 1967, once again playing an assassin in his only film to be shot in the UK and Germany. That same year, he starred as a private investigator in Tony Rome in 1967, a role he reprised in the sequel, Lady in Cement, in 1968. He also starred with Lee Remick in The Detective, a film daring for its time with its theme of murders involving rich and powerful homosexual men, and it was a major box office success. After appearing in the poorly received comic western Dirty Dingus McGee in 1970, Sinatra didn't act again for 7 years, returning with a made-for-TV cops and mob guys thriller, Contract on Cherry Street, which he also produced. Based on the novel by William Rosenberg, this fable of fed-up cops turning vigilante against the mob boasted a stellar cast and was a ratings success. Sinatra returned to the big screen in The First Deadly Sin in 1980, once again playing a New York detective in a moving and understated performance that was a fitting coda to his career as a leading man. He made one more appearance on the big screen with a cameo in Cannonball Run 2 in 1984.
Oh, wow. I damn sure didn't know that.
And a final acting performance in Magnum P.I. in 1980.
Oh, wow.
In 1987, as a retired police detective seeking vengeance on the killers of his granddaughter in an episode entitled Laura. So that's the Magnum P.I. episode he was in. So that's kind of like a little bit of his history. So he was actually married 4 times.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask.
So, we're going to get into that and the little timeline. So his first, wife was Nancy Barbados Sinatra from February 4th, 1939 to October 29th, 1951. They got divorced and they had 3 children together. So then he married Ava Gardner in 1951, November 7th, 1951, and he divorced her in 1957, July 5th, 1957. Then he got with Mia Farrow on July 19th, 1966 until August 16th, 1968, and they got divorced. And then finally, he ended with Barbara Marx, which they got married July 11th, 1976, and they were together until May 14th, 1998, which was Frank Sinatra's death. So he was married a total of 4 times, and he had 3 children, Tina Sinatra, Frank Sinatra Jr., and Nancy Sinatra.
Dang.
So some of Frank Sinatra's...
He was busy.
He was a busy man.
Busy man.
So some of Frank Sinatra's trademarks included a crooning voice, a black fedora, blue eyes, which that's what they call him. One of his nicknames is Old Blue Eyes. Sports coat. He always wore a 3-piece suit or tuxedo. Use of 1950s slang, and he frequently worked with fellow Rat Pack members Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Joey Bishop, and Peter Lawford. So now I just have a little bit of trivia, and then that'll conclude my little sector of this. All right. When Bela Lugosi died virtually penniless, Sinatra quietly paid for his funeral. In 1963, his son Frank Sinatra was kidnapped. Like Frank Sinatra Jr. was kidnapped. The kidnappers told Frank Sr. to call them from payphones. During one call, he ran out of coins and briefly feared that it had cost him his son, which the kidnappers had gave him another chance. He paid the $250,000 ransom. Frank Jr. was returned, and the kidnappers were eventually caught. However, as a result of the incident, he swore never to be caught without dimes again and carried a roll with him until his death. I think I might have to do some research on that specific case because I kind of want to know a little bit more about that one. Yeah. That might have to be a true crime that I look up. Briefly lost his ability to sing after his vocal cords hemorrhaged in 1953. When his voice returned, it had an extra dimension which many fans believed made his singing better than before. Known for his mercurial personality, as all those who were close to him knew, he could be as sweet as a person could be one minute and equally as nasty and violent in the next moment. Some theorized? Is it theorized? I don't know how to pronounce that word. You know me with pronunciation right? Sometimes. Some thought that he was bipolar, which that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. So on 5/10/1964, Brad Dexter saved both Sinatra's life and that of Ruth Koch during production of the World War II film None But the Brave in Kauai, Hawaii. They were swimming at a beach when they were swept out by sea by the outgoing tide and nearly drowned in high billowing waves. Dexter swam out and rescued them together, but they were not able to reach the shore for nearly 45 minutes. In the waves, Sinatra reportedly became separated and murmured, "It's all over. Please take care of my kids. I'm going to die."
Wow.
Both Sinatra and Koch then fell unconscious for several minutes before 2 surfers arrived to help Dexter take them to shore. Dexter was later awarded a Red Cross. Let's see. I'm trying to see where this is at. A Red Cross medal for his bravery. Sinatra never fought it, and the two stayed close friends for the rest of their lives. So there's just a little bit of, I guess, some fun trivia, and well, I guess some of it wasn't so fun, but that was some interesting trivia on Frank Sinatra and just some different background information on him. So there's a lot going on in the chat, so I'm gonna see what's going on here, because I was just talking and then I didn't even see what happened. Oh, everybody's just saying hi. Annie J's here. Hey, Annie J. Let's see. Chris, I hope you're feeling better. Let's see. Who's Amanda? I don't think there's an Amanda in here. Okay, somebody might have just typed something wrong. Let's see. Oh yeah, Michael just messed up somebody's name. That's what it was. I was like, "Who's Amanda?" I was like, "Do we have a new fan?" But yeah. Yeah, Frank Sinatra was a hot item at one time. He certainly was, and I think his legacy kind of continues to live on, to be honest. Kind of like most, people from back in the day. Let's see. Okay. I'm just trying to see. Oh, okay. I don't know what they're talking about in the chat. There's some like side conversation. Guys, I know that there's some drama going on the other side of YouTube, but I would like to kind of keep that off of my chat if you could. I just, I would I hope you guys can respect that, because I really don't want that kind of stuff over here. Anyway, so we can get on to the next thing.
How
sorry about that.
How the economy is just kind of in the crapper right now, and shit's just gotten out of hand. And so yeah, I'm gonna kind of knock a little on that, because so like I'm basically in a situation where I'm renting the house, and my rent is kind of month to month now. I got a great landlord and everything. Yeah, really cool place that I'm in. But I'm looking to buy, and I kind of looked the first of the year a little bit, but then my landlord, because my lease pretty much ended in March, was like, "No, you're good. We're not gonna really, want to come there, whatever, and be back in the house, and you're okay for the summer," kind of thing with them. So I started thinking, here we're in the summer, it's the summertime. So I needed to kind of start looking again. So I go back with my bank and my pre-approval and everything, which actually kind of went down a little bit because the rates have gone up again, and bottom line is it looks like I might not be able to afford to really buy anything in the area I'm in, and may have to kind of relocate myself back to my hometown that I came from, which is Columbia. And at first I was somewhat kind of freaked about it. I was like, well, I worked so hard to get here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm still not saying, that it will happen. It's most likely a possibility, and something major happens, like I win the lottery or some crazy something like that. But it made me want to just look a little bit in the sense of, and then I started thinking about groceries too. Like every time I go to the grocery store, how like the bill's just so way up there. It's like crazy. And you're like, oh my God, it's how much is my bill, And of course, a lot of things have gone up, like the alcohol, and you have to get your, beer in and everything.
Oh yeah.
But stuff like butter and like flour, and just anyway, I did a little kind of got some stats on that, but just to touch on the housing market here, because I'm kind of close into the Myrtle Beach obviously area, but it said in April 2023 that the home prices were up to 9.2% compared to last year, and
I believe it.
The median like price sale here of a house is $273K, which it's only me, like, and I'm not rich by any means, and I don't make a whole lot of money. I mean, I make decent money for what I do, and I do I teach Pilates, so I got a slight little bit of an income coming in from doing some of that, not a whole lot. But I'm just like, holy cow, this is crazy. And Colombia, they're around like 243 or something. But and they sell kind of quick here. They're on the market an average of like 70 days, So, but anyway, that's what I'm kind of dealing with now in the sense of what am I going to do? Because, I really do hope I can stay here. But again, I'm not going to set if I have to go back to where I came from because my family's there, my friends are there, everybody that means the most to me in the world. Well, I've made a lot of good friends here, though. It's gonna be hard to.
I don't want her to leave. Y'all.
I know she's like,
hey, put a 1 in the chat if you don't want Cece to leave.
I know, right? Because it'll be. But the good thing is, I'm guaranteed to be here through the rest of the year because I like I said, talked to my landlord, and he's good with me like staying here till the end of the year. So, and then maybe so if I want to rent, negotiate again, which it just. I hate it because I know then he'll kind of up the rent, which he hasn't yet, which is a good thing. And for what I pay for this house I'm in, it's really cheap compared to what other people pay for rent around here.
It really is.
Yeah,
trust me.
Yeah, he's giving me
her a good deal.
Giving me a good deal, and he's had stuff go up, so I get that. So we'll see, but hopefully things will be able to.
So Michael, who lives in Ohio, I know that much, said that $579K is his town's median home value.
Wow.
So it's crazy.
See, that's crazy. It's just it's just crazy how much now people are, and I sold my house kind of right when the market was at that really, people kind of were like paying crazy amounts over and this and that, paying over appraised price and stuff. And I work for a real estate law firm, so I look at contracts and stuff. And it was crazy some of the like things that would be written in the contract about, these people want to pay. Oh, I'm paying another $5,000, even if it doesn't appraise for the amount that's agreed upon the purchase price and all this kind of stuff. It's just insane. And so, but we'll see. I'm going to try to start really. I think this is something we all need to do. His downsize. And I felt like I did when I moved because I had so much stuff. I mean, I moved from a house I've been in for like 27 years. So I condensed it down. And I don't even actually, some of the furniture that's still in this house in the 2 bedrooms, the beds mainly, are furniture that my landlord left here so I could use. So, I mean, it's just like, I feel like I kind of went down a lot, but I do feel like I need to condense more. But anyway, so then that made me ponder about, the price of food and stuff, which is another thing that's kind of completely out of hand. So
it is.
Check some of this stuff out. So first off, in 2020,
I cry whenever I go to the grocery store. I just want to let everybody know.
So in 2022, inflation hit its highest level in 4 decades. I mean, that is insane. Like, that's a lot. And what's crazy is one of the things that increased the most, and then the percentage is outrageous, is school meals. Like school meals in elementary and secondary schools was up like 305%.
So I want to add something to that conversation.
Tate.
So I worked for the school system for 5 years. I'm just going to say that much. It was a former job of mine, but I'm no longer there. And the year after we came back, whenever COVID happened, school let out. So that next year, whenever we all came back, they gave all of the kids free breakfast and free lunch.
Right.
Which I think they should be doing that stuff all along, is what I think. I think we make enough tax dollars for that kind of thing to happen. In all honesty.
Right, yeah, those kids should definitely.
And I feel like, because I know that, we live in an area where it's like, it's kind of a mixture of people. Like, it's kind of a mixture between like middle class, poor, and like people who have money.
Right.
It kind of just like depends on where you're at.
There's a lot of people down here have a lot of money though.
Yeah. So I always, used to think that, that's something that they should be implementing is just like, at least giving children like free breakfast and free lunch. Because I feel like, school is a safe place for some kids.
Right. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Especially if they're in a bad home situation.
Yeah. So I think, like giving them free breakfast and lunch like during COVID, I think was a very good thing that like they implemented, because during COVID, like a lot of families like went through financial hardships. So I think like that was very good of like I guess would it be like the county or the state who runs that?
Well, that was probably a government program that they did with
it was good. It was good of the government to kind of take that into consideration, in my opinion, because, that's what I think. I think no kid should go hungry.
Right. Totally agree.
Let's see. Chris said, here in Seattle, a little dumpy house is over 1 million.
Jeez Louise. Well, I gotta want to think, no, I'm not feeling so bad, but even still, like I said, it's just wee little me. Because like if there were me and somebody else was me that qualified for what I qualified for, and that's double what that qualified would be, it was like 400,000. So I mean, yeah, that's a pretty decent house. But
and Michael S said, will the economy determine your voting decision in 2024? Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure. Yeah,
because our economy is not in good shape right now.
No, it really.
I don't mean to get political. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yes, that will definitely be something that I feel like a lot of people are going to take into consideration.
Yeah.
Whenever they are going to the voting places to vote.
Right. Yeah. Heck yeah. That should be like one of the main topics on it. So. All right, so some of the stuff, this is some other kind of crazy numbers that are out there as far as some of the things have really gone up in price. Is butter increased by 31.4%.
Listen, that stuff used to be like $1.50 for a thing of butter.
Right.
Now I think it's like close to $4.
It's crazy.
Or something like that.
Well, I will tell you this only because I know this, because I make this toffee that I kind of sell on the side.
It's delicious.
And you have to use like 2 sticks of butter for this. But the Walmart does sell a double pack of the Land O'Lakes or Landis, whatever it is.
Land O'Lakes.
Yeah, which is a good brand. They sell a 9-pack of that, or I mean, an 8-pack of that is 2 4-packs for $9 and like 30-something cents. So that does break down pretty cheap.
Yeah, that's not bad actually.
One. So that's what I buy now. I always buy it in that big bulk. So flour up to like 23.4%. And I think some of that, like the grain stuff, might have to do with like, what was it that Ukraine, the war, because we got a lot of our grain and wheat, I think, from Ukraine. So that could be why some of that stuff's affected.
I think so.
And bread along with that, it's like 15.9. Roasted coffee is another thing that's up 15.5%.
Coffee is expensive nowadays. Right. Your fellow coffee drinker here.
Yeah, right.
Is crying at how much coffee has gone up.
Yeah. Meats, of course, not up as much as some of the other products. That's only at like 5.6, and poultry 3.1, which, there's a lot of damn chickens out there. So,
well, I don't know. I think it was interesting. So like when COVID first like broke out, I remember
the rash of stuff.
There was like nothing in the stores. Because I remember like I would go to like Food Lion, and I'd be like doing my weekly grocery shopping. And I would have to like think outside the box for meals, because it's just like you couldn't find anything in the store.
Right.
Like I remember one time I had to like the only things I could find was maybe like a pack of hamburger and like a pack of ribs. And like that was all I was able to find.
Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah. It's just like, and if you have like a full family, like they were having a rough time. Like, because I can only imagine, like I'm a single person. And shopping I wasn't single at the time. I was in a relationship at the time and living with this person. And shopping for 2 was a task. So I can only imagine what shopping for 4 to 5 people was
right.
Like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
for sure.
I mean, I'm just glad that like we've kind of gotten into a better place where, food isn't as rationed. But like it was kind of tough. Like I'm not gonna lie, kind of tough back then, with that whole situation.
Oh yeah. For sure. All right. So the number one item, though, that everybody can relate and know and agree on, they've felt this in their pockets for what has been the most increased price grocery item is your little eggs,
But they've went down in price.
8.9%. Yeah, they have
thank God,
kind of gone back down a little bit. I think, like I was telling Tay, more people have decided to get their own chickens so they can have their own eggs.
Well,
save up on that.
I know that like
fresh is better.
Wasn't like is it the 18 pack that's like the big pack of them?
That at Walmart is usually
was like it used to be like $8, I think, at one time. That legitimately got up to like $8, and I think now it's back down to like $2 maybe or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I know that I got a half a dozen eggs because I was gonna do some like salads for dinner this week. So I didn't want to get like too many eggs, I just wanted to get a couple that I could boil up. So I just got like the half a dozen.
Yeah.
And I want to say like not half a dozen. Listen to what I'm saying. I got the like half the 6-pack. Yeah, like the 6-pack, Got like the 6-pack of eggs, and I think it was like $1.20 or something at Food Lion, and I didn't think that was too bad, actually.
No, that's actually good. Yeah. So hopefully that number came out before they started kind of coming down in price. So, and of course, some factors in with that is supply chain. Obviously, when that's lacking, the prices are going to go up. Labor shortages affected consumer demand. And then again, the Russian, war on Ukraine, that's really affected a lot of, like I said, some of the things that we have in the grocery stores, because especially with the grain and stuff. So then I was looking at like the whole eating out thing. Like, well, so you got all these prices in the grocery store that are up. So are people like really eating out more then? Because the prices are obviously in places more than what they were.
I treat myself once a week, and I'll go out and have like a decent dinner.
Right. Yeah.
But that's about all that I can afford, to be honest.
Right.
Like, working 2 jobs and paying like all the bills in the household, like that's about all I can afford, is like to go out one night a week to treat myself.
And I mean, when we say decent dinner, we're talking like the nicer taco place or something, or something
like
that. Or
like a barbecue place or something.
We don't make it big by any means.
Yeah,
we're not talking about going out and dropping $50 on a meal or anything.
No, definitely not.
Even though I had to get my fix on the all-you-can-eat crab legs that they have at this one place
down
here.
Sound good.
And the crab legs and then 2 beers and the tab was something like $56. So I was like, okay, can only do that every once in a blue moon.
Right.
But yeah, so eating out was up actually 13%. And I think some of that too, people are trying to get out more. COVID affected everybody and everything shut down. And so for the longest time, you couldn't even go out and eat. So it was like, okay, people were jonesing, and everything finally started to open back up to really get out there and, get some grub at somewhere else besides your house. But in 2021, the cost of eating out was rising faster than at any time since 1982. So you figure that was like the year after the pandemic got bad, and that's probably the latter parts when they probably started opening the restaurants back up again. People spent 20% more at restaurants than they spent on groceries in 2022, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And that figure rose to 29.5% in the first 2 months of this year. So it's even like gone up a little more since then.
Right.
But yeah, of course, food chain again, major drive for price hikes and the pandemic, and of course the higher grain prices and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I did read this little tip about how to cut your grocery bill by 90%.
Okay, I need to know that one. Tell me that.
So it is really only a few tips, but it says to shop at the discount grocery stores like Aldi or Trader Joe's. But Trader Joe's, I kind of find that like that's really not. I didn't think a discount. I think they have maybe some good prices, but it's all limited on their kind of brand stuff as well.
So I like Aldi's, don't get me wrong, but it's just the fact that they don't have bags and you have to bring your own bags.
Right, yeah.
And it's not like I just carry bags with me like all the time.
Right, yeah.
And I always forget them. That's pretty much the only thing that stops me from not just doing all my shopping at Aldi.
Right, yeah. I haven't really been
pure
there.
Laziness, I guess, is the right thing to say, because that's about all.
Actually, I might have to just try it and see.
It's good. Like
I'll take my bag.
Their quality of food is good, and they have like a lot of interesting things that like you can't really find other places.
Well, maybe my next trip I'll go down there and remember to put my bags in.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Also compare prices between stores, shop around. And it's crazy because of course I remember we used to get the ads, and I don't get a paper here,
No,
but I don't know
I don't get a
if they even
either
still
at my place.
I know you can, I guess, get them when you go right into the store, but if you're prepping your grocery list, I guess you just have to pull it up online or whatever and see what's on sale. And there's some of these stores now too, which I think you can do, where if you have your little account on there and things you like buy all the time, that you can have it flagged. So if like they go on sale or something like that, you get kind
I
of a
don't know
little
about that.
notification that, hey, this is on sale. Not maybe we should
I
suggest
know
that.
I know that Food Lion has like their rewards card, and there's always good deals to be had.
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
they do have
So
some
as
good. Their
long
buy
as
one get ones are really
yeah,
good.
as long as you have the reward card, if you just ask the cashier to like scan the store card,
right,
like you're pretty much gonna get the savings. Like I've seen my bill be cut by like $20.
yeah,
Like go down.
oh
Like
yeah,
$20.
for sure when they run the thing. Yeah, yeah, they do have good deals. All right, plan your meals for the week, which I am not one to ever do that.
Listen, I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah, I basically, if I'm desperate enough and haven't really prepped anything and don't feel like doing anything, I'll eat a sandwich. So I mean, that's just how lazy I am. And this again, some people still do. Some people are manic about this. Is clip the coupons, and look out for your little discounts and
that
stuff.
reminds
and sign
me
up for
of
those
that
discount
show. That show,
right? Yeah,
Extreme
the Clipper
Couponing.
Extreme. Yeah, those people were insane. Like have those big ass massive binders of coupons. No thanks.
And then did you ever see like they have that one room in the house that has like
all the extra stuff? Yeah, like the mails. I bet you they use that shit come COVID. They clean that stuff out.
Oh, I bet that they didn't even have to leave.
They're probably selling someone to their neighbors and stuff. Hey, I'll sell you like a 9-pack for like $50.
Oh gosh,
which was crazy when that stuff hiked up so much.
I remember
a can of Lysol was like $9.
I remember that my ex-fiance and I would go to like 5 different stores and we still couldn't find freaking toilet paper.
Right? Yeah, it was insane.
I'm just like, I don't know what to do here. And then if I found some, I would go get my mom some.
Well, what was funny is my dad. So this was funny story too.
Just saying.
So my dad
or if my mom saw some, she would go get me some. Yeah.
My dad always shops at the bulk and goes to Sam's for specifically the toilet paper.
That's what my mom does too.
Yeah, buys it in the bulk. So he had stocked up, and he was going out there, and there were times he would go out there and they wouldn't have like some of the stuff. So when he would go out there, every time if they had it, he would get it. So he had quite. So one time I was talking to him, and he said he counted in there. He said, I got 96 rolls of toilet paper.
Listen, he was ready for
I was like dying. It was so funny the way he said it too. Like he counted all those rolls of
Listen, he was good for whenever COVID happened.
I was like, Dad, I got, but he always shares. As a matter of fact, that's the thing he does every time I come home is he'll go and get me another stash of like the paper towels and toilet paper. I finally used all the TP, and I'm down to maybe like 4 rolls of the paper towels that I got in March when I went there.
Usually whenever
that stuff's not cheap.
Yeah, usually
so
if I go to Sam's Club with my mom,
my home shopping,
like if we both buy stuff, we'll just end up sharing it. Like if I get like a big pack of snacks, like she'll take some of those and give me some toilet paper, or like we'll split a pack of like disinfecting wipes.
He'll always ask me, you need anything else? He has been getting me the coffee though, and then he'll get plates, funny, like paper plates and stuff. He's got me so many napkins. I'll never run out of napkins because I'm not a big napkin person anyway. He's like, I got like 3 mega packs in there.
I get the K cups at Sam's Club because I feel like
they are cheap. Yeah, they are cheaper.
Yeah,
I used to have one of those.
And their Members Mark coffee, I feel like is really good. Like the Colombian roast is like incredible. The French roast is like really good, and the breakfast blend, they're all just like really good.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So the last thing on that, how to get your grocery bill down by 90%, because that really is not a lot of things. It's only like 5 things, I think, is to, and this is one thing I'm really bad about, is always eat your leftovers.
I'm pretty good about it.
I mean, I kind of do. It depends on what it is.
I get sick of it after like 4 days. I'm just
I can't do it.
I don't want to eat chili again.
If I'm going to eat it the next night, you guarantee my ass will not eat it on another night. Like spaghetti is one of the main things I'll eat again. Like I said, chili and stuff. And I do make a meatloaf and all, but I'm just not like, yeah, I'm really bad. As a matter of fact, I got some stuff in there now I need to throw out. So,
all right, I had to do that. I had to throw away some chili. I know. Well, I was like, I can't eat all this.
Luckily, my trash comes on Monday, so I definitely have to clean the fridge out before
we just have like a dumpster where I live, like a dumpster, not
right,
like a dumpster, like a little dumpster, so we can just like take our trash down there.
Yeah,
so, like that's good. I just cleaned out my refrigerator recently. Can I just tell you that there was condiments in there that were like,
oh yeah,
way old, like they were a year past due date, and I'm like, okay. I said, I don't think I need this anymore.
I had some like that too because I've been here, a little over a year now. My aunt actually, when she was here for a week, she cleaned my refrigerator out. And she's like, "This is way gone. This is way gone." So yeah, she's done everything out for me. All right, so the last thing I'm going to wrap up with is: will inflation go away?
I hope
in 2023.
One can hope at this
point.
So
the answer is, according to the consumer people, after peaking at 6.2% in 2022, we expect inflation to fall 3.5% for 2023. Over 2024 to 2027, expect inflation to average just 1.8% below the federal's 2% target rate. So I guess that's a good thing to hope for,
I think it is. Again, I hope so.
A lot of stuff just depends on, what, we're not even going to go there with the next, but it kind of sucks, because it's like everything's gone up, I mean, I can remember when, this cost that much or whatever, I find myself saying, and it's like, it's crazy. I just wish there would be a break. I wish there would just be like, okay, let's give everybody a break here. Let's,
or at least let's give everybody coupons to like get stuff cheaper, because it's ridiculous. Like I feel like you go to the store, spend $100,
and you come out
with like pretty much nothing.
Right.
And I feel like that's not how it used to be. You used to be able to get a whole cart of stuff.
Right.
And maybe like part of another cart for like $100.
Yeah.
If you played your cards right.
Now, we'll have to say I had a dog, and that dog food got so expensive, I was having to feed him. And then I had to put like the wee pads down, because I would have to kind of put him more or less pin him up, I guess you could say. But I put him in my bathroom. He got blind, so I couldn't really crate him. So I'd have to put the pads down in there. So between buying those pads and this food and everything, I was spending probably a good $40 at least every 2 weeks, if not more, on that food, because I was having to, feed him. But it was crazy. But now I have lizards, and they're very cheap to feed.
She's a lizard lady now.
Yeah, the lizard whisperer. It's kind of crazy. I actually have some outside on my little back deck. Well, it's open, but that live out there, and I've got crickets for my ones that I have inside. So now some of them outside are trained enough where I could take the crickets out there, and I'll actually be able to drop crickets for them and feed them and their trip. And some of them will actually take it out of the tweezers. So they're really cool. Yeah, kind of crazy.
Oh, I do feel like
love my lizards, though.
Crazy.
So yeah, that was my little bit tonight, my little rant about what the hell. And then look how much everything has gone up. Now we know why we're paying so much for stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? It's getting crazy, that's for sure.
Crazy.
But I think that's about all we have.
Yeah, that's all I had, girl.
But yeah, I'll have to give you guys an update next week as to how the David Cook concert went. So we'll have to do a little tidbit on that. Update. Did you want to do that one little section that we had talked about doing?
We should factor it into something with our next one.
Yeah, okay.
We'll have to think of something fun with that.
Yeah, we'll have to do that, because come up with like a list of people.
Celebrity hotties and naughties.
Yes, there are a few naughties, let me tell you.
Right, yeah. Yeah, really.
But I think that's about all we have for this little podcast this evening.
Yeah.
So thank you for everybody who stopped in and chatted with us. So, I guess that's about all we got for tonight.
Well, you guys have a good weekend.
Yes, please have a good weekend. Be safe out there. I know that the air in Canada is kind of making everything like crazy right now. So
just a little smoky, as I'm calling.
Yeah, so just be careful out there, and be safe. So we'll talk to y'all later. This is your girl Tay Tay signing off.
And CC.
And we hope you guys have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.